Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lamade.
The future is now.
So today I'm going to be giving you my top tips for job hunting. And these are some things that I've used myself to get my current role, but I do have to give a disclaimer that there's like a whole testimony behind me getting my current role and I can't take all the credit for it. However, there were set things I did to put myself in the best position to get that job. So me plus God, perfect job. Not perfect, but you know what I mean. I'm going to explain to you my job hunting situations. Like, I've been through it, so that's why I feel as if I can actually give you guys useful tips. I've had job offers to then have it rescinded. I've had rejections to then having been called back. I've had to I've accepted offers to then having to reject it because other things came. So it's just like it's a lot. Last year, when I finished university, I started applying what some may consider late, because a lot of the roles that were out there during like second year summer, final year, I didn't want to apply for them. I didn't want them. So my mom was just like, oh, apply for anything. Just apply for anything. And I know myself, there's not many, I can't just do anything because I will hate it, they will hate me, I'll probably get fired because I'll just be complaining. So like, let's just save ourselves the hassle. Let me not apply to something I don't want to do, and let me only apply for the jobs I'm willing to do, and they were very small numbers. So one that I applied to, I got an interview on my actual birthday. So on my 21st birthday, I went there, I carried my leg to some far place, did the interview. I believed I smashed it. I truly believed I smashed it, and to this day I know I did. So they called me on the same day, they offered me the job. I'm excited. I'm like, what are you saying? Best birthday present ever. I've got a job, I'm set. Then they asked me to come for to just see what they do to get to know me more. So I was like, okay, sick, let me see who I'm going to be working with. Little did I know that this was part of the this was also part of the interview process, but apparently nobody wished to tell me. Anyways, I should have just known. So long story short, I was late. I was late to meet up with the person, literally by 2 minutes, but that just sets a bad impression, so don't be late. And I can only blame myself. So I was late, and I think I was planning a live event at the same time, so I was quite preoccupied. And they weren't giving me work to do, and I was trying to be proactive, but I didn't want to get into people's ways. Anyways, they saw me on my phone, so they didn't like that. To be honest, I think they were just making excuses, because when I asked for feedback, and I had a call with one of the interviewers, their feedback was just mad. They were like, oh yeah, you came across too ambitious. What does that no, they said I came across too ambitious. I did till this day, I don't believe that's a problem. I honestly this is an interview, so I'm meant to big myself up and show my skills and my abilities, and you're saying I come across too ambitious. Sorry. The first thing I would say that I think is really important is that you shouldn't settle, and you should know your worth when entering the job market and when entering the job hunting period, because a lot of the time you might get frustrated, you might get discouraged, you might get tired, and you just be like, I just want anything, but no, no. Don't just settle for anything. Have set things in mind, be intentional about it, and just go in there knowing that even if you get 12,000 rejections, God forbid, but your worth doesn't diminish at all. And the second thing that I would say is that don't focus on money too much. Have a baseline in mind, but don't focus on money too much when applying for a job. So personally, I think when I was applying in my final year for a job, I think I said either nothing less than 25k or nothing less than 28k. I can't actually remember, but I knew because of my expertise because I've been volunteering all throughout secondary, A-level and uni, so I had literally over a lot of years in volunteering, and with those by volunteering, I gained a lot of skills. So I knew that my CV put me at a level that I could ask for certain things, or when I'm applying for a job, I had a baseline of nothing less than, I'm gonna say 28,000. Know how much you want in terms of a salary, because firstly, when you do get, like, if you do go to an interview, if you get a job, you can then start negotiating. But it also means that you don't look for anything that is significantly lower than that, because at that point it just feels like extortion. Having said that, my next point is that you need to have the big picture in mind. So let's say if you're starting in a completely new industry that you've never been in, you don't have much experience in, it might serve you best to take like a pay cut in a sense to be able to get in that position, that when you do want to ask for like more money, or you do want to move and negotiate, you have the skills and expertise to back you. Whilst volunteering, I had loads of experience in policy, in like working within the government, and I'd studied politics and philosophy, and I wanted to work either in the government or in the charity sector. So I already had my experiences with that. However, if I now want to go into something like marketing, I don't have much experience in marketing, so I might have to then have a baseline that is much lower because to like match my experience. But then I know that moving forward, I can't go any lower than my baseline. My point is, have the big picture in mind. How can you use your next job to be a stepping stone for like where you actually want to be? So I personally wanted to be, like, coming out of uni, I wanted to be a policy advisor, but it was quite hard to get into. So I was like, okay, cool, how else can I enter that? Perhaps I can just work within like a governmental organisation, and then once I'm in, I can then find my way into different departments, into different things, to end up becoming a policy advisor. And another thing I would say in terms of my top tips for job hunting is volunteer if you can. And I know it might not be easy, but like whilst you're job hunting, people, like, you need to be proactive, so you don't just want to be like doing nothing. And I find volunteering a really good way to gain the skills that you need to accomplish the role that you're applying for. So I volunteered at loads of different organisations. Like, you can even just do simple things, so like visit a care home to start talking to like older people. That can improve your communication skills. You can start doing like activities for young people that can again improve your communication skills, your interpersonal relationship skills. There's so many things that you can gain from volunteering, and I don't think that is something that is utilised enough. However, I do understand that it might not be easy to volunteer if you're like looking for a job and you need the money, but whilst you're waiting or in between jobs, I do think it's quite a valuable thing to take on so you can improve your skills. If you're just finishing university, don't just stick to graduate jobs, because I find that pool is quite limiting, especially again if you're in like an industry that is oversaturated. So if you're a politics and philosophy student, or if you're a politics student, there's set politic jobs that is kind of in mind to get. So I think I applied for the civil service like graduate scheme, didn't get it. I don't even think I passed the first round, and it was just, oh my god, what else can I apply for within government? And it felt as if my options were quite limiting, so I just started looking around outside of the like graduate stuff. I feel that if you apply for graduate schemes or graduate jobs and like entry-level jobs, your chances of being employed is just higher than if you're just to stick to one. My next point, that may seem like obvious, but I do think not many people take the time to consider, is that do you actually want to do the role that you're applying for? So one thing I deeped is that, like, I personally do not apply for many roles because a lot of the roles I saw I didn't want to do, and I'm like if I apply for this role and I actually get the job, I have to do the job, because I think in a moment of desperation you just apply for anything and everything until comes the time that you do get the job and you have to do the job, and you're just like, oh my god, this is not what I want to do, this is the ghetto, and then you start complaining. And yeah, no, nah, just only apply for jobs that you're actually willing to do. It doesn't need to be your best job or like the dream job, but it needs to be something that you're willing to wake up every day to sign in for, or to actually go into the location to do. The next point, I think this is more to do with like interview stuff, and even that, actually I guess in the application it does it pertains to that as well, is don't take it too personally. Like, do not take it too personally. If you do, you're just wasting energy, because it isn't personal. Like, it's a game. I don't have to explain it, but it's a game. Like, don't take it personally, because it's not personal. Sometimes they even have somebody in mind when advertising for that role, and obviously since you're not in that organization, you don't know about it, so you can't take it too personally, because it will just, you'll get demotivated, you waste your energy, and it isn't personal. The next point is ask for feedback whenever you can. Like, you don't know how to improve unless you know what to work on. So if you don't get the job, ask for feedback. Even if you do get the job, ask for feedback. Like, what did I do well? Why did you choose me? Thank you for your time. I would like to know, I would like to receive some feedback based on my interview or based on my application, to know how I can do better for the next time. And it just helps you know what were your strengths in the interview, how did you come across to like interviewers, and what can you do better next time. And I think that is really, really helpful. So in one of the roles that I applied for, and when they were giving me feedback, they were like, so they asked me a question like, oh, where do you see yourself in 2 years within this organization? And as I am, like, how far can you get in 2 years? So I think that was my answer, like, where can I get in 2 years? That's where I would want to be. Turns out they did not like that answer, because, so for you to get promoted in an organization, somebody either has to move up or move out. I didn't know that. So people were a bit intimidated by that, which is fair enough, I guess. And it was made it known to me that you can't just be saying things like that. And somebody corrected me, or the interviewers, like when I asked, okay, what would have been like a better response? They corrected me and say like, oh, to gain as much experience and as much to be the best in my current role. To me, in 2 years, if I can get promoted in it. However, that's not the answers I want to hear. When you're applying for jobs, like, write what type of jobs you want, and that will make sure that you don't deviate from it too much, because it ends up like you end up at a job and like, what is not even what I want to do? How did I find myself here? Write what type of skills you have, and have examples of how you can show that you have those skills. So it's kind of like the STAR technique. So what is the situation? What is the task that we was given? What was the action? What was the result? I personally recommend having like a resource bank. So on my Word doc, I have a folder on my laptop that has it's called application aid. So all the different applications I've applied for, it's all in there. I have set answers for set competencies. So if you ask me, give me a time that you've worked with a difficult customer, I have my examples all written out. Give me a time that you showed good communication skills, all written out, those type of things. So that is what you can do that will make it easier for you, that when it comes to the interview or when it comes to application. So the next point is for my side hustlers, or those who are co-founders and CEOs of stuff, whatever. So if you start, or entrepreneurs, so if you started your own thing and you're looking for a job, I think the best way to go about it is to present it in a way that adds value to that set organization. So with me being a co-founder of Live, I was applying for quite a few charity jobs. A lot of them were like, oh, so if we were to get £1 million tomorrow, what would you just leave us? And I was like, firstly, I wouldn't know what to do with £1 million for my organisation tomorrow, and I wouldn't have the skills, so no. I was able to present in a way that's like, yeah, no, don't be threatened by this. This is helping me. What the skills I've gained from running my own thing, like my work ethic, my determination, my perseverance, being resilient, all those buzzwords that they like. I said that at the interview, and that was as a result of me starting my own thing. So they knew not to feel threatened by it, because the last thing an organisation would want, or an employer would want, is for them to invest in your personal development and training for 2 years for you to just leave and take all of that skills with them. So they need to see that you'll be there long term. Because another feedback that I received from one of the things I applied for, they were like, yeah, we think you'll get bored over the next 2 years and just leave, and it would have been true. So at the job hunting stage, it is a time to big yourself up. So know what is special about you. So I remember an interview that asked me why you, why should we pick you? And I was just in my head, because I'm awesome, but again, they don't know me. And I think I said my energy and my work ethic, because genuinely my work ethic is pretty good, and I'm a very energetic person, so I'm able to bring the whole team's mood up. So again, employees, the people interviewing me liked that, and they were able to see the importance of having a high energy and being very hardworking. So whatever may be for you, just know it. So if there's someone to ask you that question, you're not like and you're unsure, just know what is special about you and what you can bring to the table that add loads of value to that organization. I think my final point, it's probably not my final point because I always say that and it never really is. Get links where you can, so like get networks where you can, get tips and advice from people who actually work in that organization. Like, insight is the best thing that you can do. So maybe find somebody who works in that organization on LinkedIn, send them a message, see how they can help you, maybe like build up the rapport and that relationship, so they may be able to look over your CV and just over your application. Proofread your work. Like, the best way for you to be rejected is by you having poor grammar, by you not answering a question, by you making mistakes on your CV and just using like duplicate of what you send to everybody else. Like, they will spot that and they will just like X your application. So don't make those mistakes. Take your time with it. Like, give yourself as much time as possible. The earlier you start, the sooner the better. Like, the earlier you start, the better for you. Keep going, man. Like, keep going. Find new ways to get into that dream job, into that organization. Stay encouraged. Know that somebody somewhere will hire you, and in the meantime, just keep busy and be proactive, and don't just be like idle, because that's never really a good thing. I think that's it really. I don't know what else to say. Like, let me know if there's anything else you want me to like add or include or help with. Add your own tips in the comment below, in the comment section, of how you got your own job and how others can get their job as well. So see you later. I hope this helps. See you on the next one. Like, share and subscribe. Bye. Jazz hands. Okay, bye.